Have you ever had a challenge? Have you ever had a problem? Has life ever thrown anything at you that you didn't know how to handle and you had to critically think it, become a problem solver, a solution finder? And I'm sure the answer is yes, because life is full of stuff that's perplexing, complicated. Some people call them problems. I like to call them challenges because I like to be a challenge overcomer. There's a great word. But it's been suggested by the best in the world that the headspace that created the challenge or the problem can't be the same headspace that you use to overcome the challenge or the problem. So I'm using a very simple example. I'm in my office. And my whole life, my total dedication has been to be healthy, fit and strong. But the busier I got, the more things I became involved in, the bigger the difference I wanted to make to the world. I've only got 24 hours in a day. So the challenge I had was, how do I fit in all the things that I need to do, particularly my exercise, I want to have a healthy, fit, strong body so I can do all the things that I want to do. So that's the challenge. I don't have enough time. I could use that as an excuse, and most people do, don't they? I haven't got enough time to exercise, so I won't. But behind me, I have some very cool pieces of equipment. One is my tread desk. So when I do my work, when I'm running my business, when I'm chatting to my students, when I'm living my life, my business life, I'm never sitting down. I don't have a sitting desk. I have a walking desk. So I'm constantly moving. So that means my brain works more effectively because I'm not sitting on my backside. When you sit down, you take out the biggest muscles in your body. You waste the opportunity of keeping your body in the upright position and becoming stronger and better if you sit down. But if you're at your desk and you're walking at the same time, to me that was a great solution to a challenge, which was, I hate sitting down. And just as a side note, I've got a really interesting back injury that is a lifetime challenge. And if I sit down, my back hurts. So now I never ever have to sit down, because even when I'm at my desk, I'm walking. So that was a really interesting solution find for me, what was a big challenge. So is it possible that every challenge we have to become better, stronger, wiser, more highly trained, more highly educated, have more knowledge, so that we can fix the challenge, overcome the challenge, create a solution for the problem? Because the headspace that created the challenge, often you'll hear people say, I don't know what to do. Well, of course you don't know what to do if you say you don't know what to do. But if you ask your own brain, what can I do? What should I do? How can I overcome this solution, or overcome this problem to find a solution? Is it possible that your brain starts working differently? Now, of course, if you want a better brain, you've got to change the neurochemistry in your brain. You've got to create neurogenesis, which are new brain cells, and your brain's got to think differently. So the way to do that, of course, the very best way to do that is to make your brain stronger, tougher, wiser, more resilient, is to get really puffed, to lift heavy, or a combination of both. Because obviously your brain and body are connected. So every time you get puffed, your brain fills up with happy chemicals, 100% puffed, not go for a walk or a plod jog, but 100% effort. So then your brain chemistry changes. Neuroplasticity is that, and people didn't think that was possible. Neuroplasticity means, how can I change the way I think about this? If I think that it's not possible, I can't do it, it won't work. Neuroplasticity says, how can I? And things start to change inside your brain so that you work out a way to do it. So when you get puffed, when you lift heavy, you get a different brain headspace. Now, if you add to that fresh air and sunshine, because obviously what the sun does for the human body will for the whole world. If you don't get sunlight, you die. If plants don't get sunlight, they die. If animals don't get sunlight, they die. So all energy comes from the sun. So if you get fresh air, sunshine, and you're really fit and you're really strong because you get puffed and you lift heavy, then your brain works differently. So the other reason I have not just a walking desk, but next to my walking desk, because I don't call that exercise, that's just activity while I'm doing my work. But I've got a boxing bag, I've got a skipping rope, I've got a cross trainer, I've got a treadmill, I've got a heavy set of weights for doing deadlifts and squats. I call them alive lifts because I'd rather be alive than dead. I've got a chin dip bar, I've got weight training equipment. So every 15 minutes, to make sure that my brain's working effectively, I either go outside in the fresh air and sunshine and I sprint around the driveway, sprint through soft sand, lift some heavy rocks or logs, do something outside in the fresh air and sunshine. But if it's dark outside or if it's really windy, the only reason I'm happy to exercise in the rain and the cold and the hot, the wind, it's quite complicated because where I live, the wind will actually push you over. But what I will do is every 15 minutes I'll do something of high intensity. So I'll punch the bag, I'll do jump squats, I'll get on the cross trainer and go flat out, run around the driveway, run through soft sand to change my brain chemistry so it's constantly getting better and better. Because every single day, and I'm sure you're the same, life throws challenges at me. Life throws problems at me. I have to be able to overcome those problems, and I don't like to call them problems. I really like the word challenge because I am a challenge overcomer. And if I call myself that, am I more likely to overcome challenges than if I say, I don't know what to do, it's too hard, I can't do it, it's not possible. Of course, if you say all of those things, it's true. So if you want to get healthy, fit and strong and you're not at the moment, your brain has to be different than the person who's unfit and unhealthy. If you've got a lousy, stinking, rotten job and you want to have a new career, a new business, your brain has to be different than it is now. You've got to get more training, more education, more knowledge, more wisdom. Your head has to be different. So that's where education comes in, of course. If you need more money and you're broke at the moment, your headspace has to be different. One of the really big changes in your headspace there that's very helpful is rather than saying, I can't afford it, which means you can't because you've just told yourself that you can't, just the change of vocabulary. How can I afford it? How can I put this thing into my life? How can I make sure that I've got enough money to go and do this? So your brain has to think differently because you've asked it a question versus told your own brain that you can't. Now, the people in your life, of course, that's a choice. And if you've got horrible, stinking, lousy relationships and people that treat you badly and disrespectfully, if you've got the headspace, if they're in your life right now, your headspace has already said to you personally, subconsciously, that's okay. You've made their behaviour acceptable because we get what we accept. We also get what we expect. So if people are treating you badly, you accept that. Now you expect them to act like that, so they're going to keep doing that. So there's a really simple thing to do there. Get them the hell out of your life. We get what we accept, so don't accept it anymore. Perhaps a list of non-negotiable standards of people that you'll have in your life, and they are the only people that you allow to have in your life. Now, complicated to get them out, maybe, but think about what your life would be like if you only had in your life respectful, gorgeous people. So your headspace has to be different. Whatever is acceptable now, you actually have to tell your own headspace, the way that person's treating me is not acceptable. I'm not going to accept it anymore. And it was a very freeing experience, and I can share this with you as an old lady. I feel like a grown-up, mature person because I stopped caring what other people think. I stopped wanting people to like me, and I stopped having people in my life that I didn't want there. So no negative people, no grumpy people, no unfit, unhealthy people, no nasty, gossiping, horrible people. I just don't have them in my inner circle. Now, sometimes I have to deal with them, but that's what I've got a boxing bag for skipping rope and a circular driveway, and why I have to be healthy, fit and strong, because sometimes I have to deal with horrible people. So the question is very simple. If you've got a challenge or if you've got a problem or if you need to find a solution, do you have to change your headspace? The answer to that question is yes. The question is, how will you change your headspace? Now, some people gamble, smoke, take drugs, go shopping. People do all sorts of things to try and get out of the headspace they're in at the moment. But the solution-finding headspace is to have a clear head, a critical thinking head, a very smart head, a head that's got neuroplasticity. So you change the way you think, because if you don't change the way you think, you'll just keep getting what you've always got. That's that great quote. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. If you keep doing what you've always done and expect a different result, that's called insanity. And I don't want that in my life. So I'm always looking for a solution to a challenge. I never have problems because I don't like to call them that. But I'm always looking for ways to make my head, my brain, my head, body and brain better. And if you're healthy, fit and strong, your brain's more likely to think more clearly. And if you're thinking more clearly, are you more likely to be able to find a solution to your challenge? And of course the answer is yes, and isn't that awesome? So if you want to live your life to the max, get fit. And this is my mantra. And we sing it now in my Fight Fit for Fun classes, which is fresh air, sunshine, get fit, get strong. 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 And then you can overcome any challenge. Woohoo! Live your life to the max. Check out all my stress relieving equipment. Woohoo!